The letter is very, very interesting and helpful to read alongside with the poems. And you really see her humor come out. I mean, they're hilarious at times. She just sees through the stuff so beautifully. And I hate to say, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm going to on my Volcano Grows. I didn't love the Julie Harris show about, what's it called? The Belle of Amherst. For one thing, I cannot stand the title. I cannot stand the title. To me, that's putting her back in the box. This is not a bell. She may have wanted to ring some bells. And there's something about that Julie Harris coming on the, I give you flowers, that just, I'm sorry. It just, I apologize. I don't mean to be offensive. But that wasn't my Emily Dickinson. Which brings me to the fact,
the woman who played it here did not play it. The woman who played it here.
Oh, okay. Wasn't like Julie Harris.
Marino, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
She was not.
She was more out there.
She was.
Okay.
Strong.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Everything was trying to show the power.
What I think is great about the Belle of Amherst, the TV show, is that it really did bring Dickinson to so many people. And bring the Dickinson to people hadn't known to so many people. So I agree with you there, yeah. And then, I mean, when I said that's not my Emily Dickinson, one of the things that, in fact, there's even a joke, there's a joke about that. People saying, that's my Emily Dickinson, that's my Emily Dickinson, that's my Emily Dickinson. So people sort of take her to themselves and say, this is the poet I want her to be.
And she
very
has
funny.
so many. Yeah. She has such a variety
of
topics and themes and treatments and so on that a lot of different people can find 70 or 80 poems that are just what they wanted to say.
Exactly. That's right.
Out of her 1700 and whatever. Or
Exactly. And maybe it's the closet rebel in me that is drawn to, to the things I'm drawn to. One of the things that's interesting too that we haven't talked about is her sound and her rhyme scheme and her rhythm, the form of her poems. And Cyrus, you may have to help me on this, but one of the things she did that Higginson and Todd were trying to get her away from in a way was that she uses the form rather than the sort of typical iambic form that was common for poems at the time. She uses the Watts hymn form. So that your face just lit up.
That's what I've been reading.
Help me out.
No, that was exactly what I want to ask you about.
Oh, good.
I know
Okay.
that some attribute her form to Isaac Watts hymns, and that she
Exactly.
some of her poems
Exactly. And of course, she grew up in the church, and so she knew those hymns. So you can put a lot of Dickinson poems. You can sing them to Amazing Grace, for instance, which is kind of, and Dickinson conferences I've participated in the past, so often hilarious gatherings of Dickinson scholars in the halls singing, I felt a funeral in my brain to the Yellow Rose of Texas, for instance, which follows that form. But you can do it. I felt a funeral in my brain. But of course, what there we go. He's got it. Yes. Beautiful. Yes. But of course, what happens in the poems is that the dashes, the punctuation changes the rhythm. So it's not quite so da-da, 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 da-da. Yeah,
Yeah, the question I had was exactly about that. Obviously, in terms of the stanza forms and the hymn pattern is there, but you're right, the punctuation, the off-rhymes seem to be playing against
exactly
the easy music.
Exactly.
So I was thinking that in some ways, given that she is such a literary poet, she wasn't a reader, and again, I was thinking of her as a textual and visual poet.
Yes, nice.
I always wonder if there's sort of the concert in mind as well. I was wondering if one of her subversive aspects is her sort of almost like an anti-music.
Yes.
I don't remember what she says about music in the poems or in the letters.
Even that.
She's like, obviously birdsong was like big for her.
Right. But even that example I gave, that I can sing a little minor, timid as a bird, in minor key. But and the punctuation really really shifts from that very regularized form. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. What else? Yes,
Do you know what type of music was like popular at that time?
She would have grown up, as I said, in the church with those hymns, with those old hymns. And she did actually, oh, you know what I meant to say. Good grief, how could I have forgotten to say this to this group? How could I? I can't believe it. Thank you for your question. She was a pianist before she was a poet. She loved music. She composed for the piano. Neighbors talk about hearing this ghostly music coming from the house that she composed. She composed, she played the piano. She did go to a concert once in Boston to hear, I forget what musical, I forget what it was, but some incredible musical performance that moved her deeply. She loved the piano, she was composing, and at one point in her life, I think it was in the late 50s, she sort of turned from the compositions for the piano to the poems. So yeah, so the music was just part of her bone structure practically. Yes. How could I have forgotten to say that earlier? My gosh, yes.
Now I want to know, were any of her compositions, musical compositions written down?
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't seen evidence of that.
So we don't know itself.
I don't think we know. Yeah, yeah. And she would have been young when she was, yeah. Yeah.
I was just saying, that was just such a 19th century thing. People made music in their homes all the time.
Right.
So chamber music, and so people would have had, maybe a little Schubert or Mendelssohn, usually European stuff.
Yeah, exactly,
Maybe
exactly.
Maybe a little
Yeah.
bit of American stuff.
It would have been what we call classical music. Yeah, yeah.
And they made it themselves. But the question I had for you is, have you listened to many musical settings of her poems by different composers over the years? As you've
Doesn't
studied
Samuel
them?
Barber have?
Copeland, I think.
Copeland is the,
kind
yeah.
of the first famous
Copeland,
one, I
right,
guess, to really
right, yeah.
do something. Of course,
Yeah.
Eric
Yeah.
and Sonia can talk about
Yeah.
it more, but
Yeah.
I forget, one of the composers, the famous leader composers in Europe, when he would set some poet to a song in Germany, or Austria, some of the poets got really mad, said, we don't like you turning our poems into your leader. I don't remember which one it was. They didn't have a good
Yeah.
relationship because of that.
Goethe hated it.
Goethe, it was that. That's
Oh,
what it was. Goethe was
my.
really good.
About that.
And in speaking to the kind of music that she would have been improvising on, I seem to remember there were some letters referencing that she was improvising over parlor ballads of the time. So the sort of the popular tunes that they were selling in the department stores and things like that. Just simple singable songs, Stephen Foster and things like that.
When was the Victrola invented? Like the well-do family would have had it at home and all
They
that?
did not have a Victrola.
No.
When would that have been?
Thomas Edison.
I
I didn't know when that
Maybe
came
late
out.
19th century.
Late in the century,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like 1890s.
Yeah, after she
Yeah,
died,
it's like
yeah.
Thomas Edison, the rolls, the piano rolls, it's just
Oh,
before
right,
the
right.
turn of the century.
Yeah,
So that was more like the 1890s.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that was before, yeah. One more question? And then you guys need your dinners. People must have puddings, she said. Listen, thank you so much, and go have some good pudding. Thanks so much.